the spirit soul. But
Yeah, what is the meaning of that someone has realized the statement Aham Brahmasmi? What does it mean? Yes, Mike.
So this means I am not this body, I am a spirit soul. And this spirit soul is part and parcel of Krishna, and I am eternal servant of the Krishna.
Yes, that's complete understanding. Aham Brahmasmi, okay, I'm spirit soul. So now what? Isn't it? So understanding I'm spirit soul means to engage in the activities on the platform of the soul. And that is?
So
What is the activity on platform of the soul?
devotional service.
Yes, devotional service. Hmm? And anything else we discussed today?
So to perform devotional service, you have to keep on be good at devotional service. We have to be continue performing devotional service. Like we have to, for chanting, we have to continue chanting.
Yeah, no. How do you cultivate
chanting?
chanting?
Cultivate chanting.
By chanting.
Chanting.
So Sri Prabhupada said the tendency to walk is innate in a child. But how do you bring that innate nature of to walk outside? By trying to what? Trying to walk, isn't it? Why has that nature, doesn't seem like many people can say to chant Hare Krishna is, I don't think it's my nature. Why do people feel it's artificial? Or we can say, why may people feel it's artificial?
They're too deep into modes of material nature. Like
yes, because they have spent so many lifetimes in the material world that now for them to chant is difficult. Why? Because they have spent millions and millions of lifetimes thinking I am the enjoyer. Because they are trying to enjoy this material world, and you can enjoy this material world in different flavors. In the flavors of 3 modes. You can enjoy in the mode of ignorance, you can try to enjoy in the mode of passion, or in the mode of goodness. Or mixture of the 3 modes, which is 8.4 million levels of consciousness. Isn't it? So you have different ways you want to try to enjoy this material world. Because they're doing this life after life, they're practicing enjoyment. So that which is natural has become, it got dubbed inside. It has got covered over. So now we were referring to this verse, Nitya Siddha Krishna Prema Sadhya Kabonai. That means the love for Krishna is so, it is natural to the soul. For the soul, it is natural to love God. And the problem is, it is covered over. Just like gold, which is covered over by dirt. But does it lose value? Gold never loses value. Similarly, the soul's property of love for God is never lost. For the soul, love of God is always natural. But when it gets covered over by the dirt of enjoying propensity, that time it forgets in the material world. It forgets God and tries to enjoy. So now when we are trying to chant, becomes very difficult, isn't it? Now when you keep chanting, the natural tendency to chant, to love and to serve God, it is coming out, isn't it? Now how many of you feel after say 2 years of chanting? How many of you are there in 2 years in Krishna consciousness? Last 2 years? 2 years, no? 2022, 2025 now. Not 2 years? 2023, September. Okay. Yeah, so now you can, for those of you who have now chanting for 1 or 2 years, now what do you feel? Has chanting become easier or more difficult? Easier. The first time we pick up chanting the beads, if you chant 1 round, you'll be telling your friends, today I did meditation. Isn't it? Then when we come to 4 rounds chanting, then we think that's a big thing. All my other peers are only chanting 1 round. I came to 4 rounds. Then when we get introduced to our mentors, then we get to know they chant 16 rounds. When I first got to know my mentor was chanting 16 rounds, I thought, how the hell does he get so much time in the day? Isn't it? But it becomes very easy. Gradually it becomes very easy. Sometimes we feel 16 is nothing. 16 rounds is nothing. So easy. Why? Because it is becoming very natural. So what is natural is the propensity to love God is already there. So Nitya Siddha Krishna Prema Sadhya Kabunai means this propensity to love God is not acquired by anything outside, anything external. It is acquired by simply trying to love God. It is awakened. So now it is in what stage? Dormancy. Dormant stage means sleeping stage. Now it is sleeping. Now our love for God is sleeping. So you have to awaken it. So when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying, Jiva jago, Gaura Chandra bole. So he's going to city and town and he's saying, please wake up. Not that he's saying now it has become morning, 5 a.m. now you get up. So people are already, he's not going in the early morning. He might be going in the daytime and saying, please wake up. Wake up to what? He is saying, wake up your propensity to love God. That means you're awakened. Otherwise, Srimad Bhagavatam explains, Jivan api mrito hi saha. We are spending our lives in this world as if we are dead, though living. Isn't it? People who don't awaken their attachment to God or their eagerness to hear about Krishna, they're actually still dead. But they're like zombies. They can still move. So the real awakening, real living for the soul, or the awakening of the soul is that we are awakening the propensity to love God. So this is what we emphasized yesterday, for the most part. Anything else we covered yesterday? No? That's it? Okay. So Prabhu can be.
Acharyopasanam. This information, Krishna's to Bhagavan Swayam, is not concocted, but is accepted by the Acharyas in the disciplic succession. Although an impersonalist, Sankaracharya has accepted Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So have Ramanujacharya, Madhvacharya, Vishnu Swami, Nimbarka, and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his followers. They all accept Krishna as the Supreme, just as Arjuna himself did. This is the simplest method. There is no need to speculate. What is God? Where is God? Why foolish go on searching? Here is God, Krishna. We may think that Krishna cannot be seen, but Krishna can appear in the form of his energy. Of course, a stone is not God, but a stone is another one of God's energies. Heat and light are not fire, but without fire, there cannot be heat or light. In that sense, heat and light are non different from fire. This material world is like the heat and light of the supreme fire.
एकदेशे स्थितस्याग्ने ज्योत्स्ना विस्तारिणी यथा परस्य ब्रह्मण शक्तिस्ततेदम् अखिलं जगत्.
Just as a fire is situated in one place but spreads illumination all around, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Parabrahman, spreads his energy throughout this universe. Vishnu Purana 122:53. The sun is situated in one place and its light and heat expand throughout the entire solar system. As soon as we perceive light and heat, we can understand that the sun is there. Since light and heat can be perceived by everyone, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita 7.8, Prabhasi Sasi Suryayo. I am the light of the sun and the moon. People are saying, can you show me God? While not realizing that they are seeing God daily at every moment. Because people are foolish in this age, they cannot understand that when we perceive the energy of the Lord, we can feel the presence of the Lord.
Yeah. So now Prabhupada is shifting the focus. So this information that Krishna to Bhagavan Swam, he mentioned earlier, right? Why dharma is to love and serve God? Who is that God? That's Krishna. So it is not accepted. We follow it because the great souls accept it. That is one point he mentions. So if you see how faith works, faith works. See, how do we develop faith? Generally, if you ask yourself, how do you develop faith? Like for example, we have faith in scientists. No, we don't have faith in scientists. Oh, PhD. We need to have faith in scientists. So how do you develop faith? How did we develop faith in the modern science? Yeah.
again and again from like by reading
That
more.
mic is working?
I think so.
Why this is not working? I have to turn it on.
Yeah. ये on. नहीं ऐसा नहीं. This is on. That's not on. Oh, that's also on.
Oh, I thought it was meant not to be turned on. Is it supposed to be turned on?
दब गया ये button.
Turn on is good? Okay. Yeah, you were saying?
So when we hear and read
You
more,
don't need to turn that on because with the hand movement, it makes a lot of noise. I can hear you.
so when we hear a lot about them, reading their theories or whatever, then we develop faith. More we read, more we hear.
Just more you read, more you develop faith? No,
By
I mean,
reasoning,
I don't think so.
by
maybe.
like accepting the like by reasoning and logic, like what are they
Reasoning
saying?
and logic? Okay.
Because I have trust in my teacher. So I have they have been
Yes,
teaching
you
me.
have faith. We put faith in people around us, isn't it? Much of our religion, Hinduism, the stories, when we speak about some Mahabharata, some Ramayana story, some student comes up to me and asks, Prabhu, have you ever heard this story? And he speaks this never heard of story. And when I ask him, where did you get this from? He says, my grandmother used to tell me when I was a small child. So that means he has so much faith. And when I say, no, this never existed, then he will doubt me, but not his grandmother. As if she is like an acharya in this. Yeah, isn't it? So they have so much faith because they have faith in that person. And they also have faith in the society. So whatever society does, we feel it is true. It's called Laukik Shraddha. Laukika Shraddha. And if the whole world is going to hell, we feel that going to hell is the goal of life. That's the power of Laukik Shraddha, isn't it? If everyone is doing medical, engineering, law, and anyone else is doing anything else is considered a loser, then we also have faith that this is the goal of life. How? Because people. That is one way. Okay? And other way of cultivating faith, generally, just personal experience. How do you cultivate faith? Yes.
By associating with people who have faith.
By associating.
Hmm.
Yeah. When you innocently hear from someone, you associate with them. Thereby you cultivate faith. Okay. Good. Anything else? I mean, the most obvious way of cultivating faith. Scientific reason. Okay, reasoning, logic. Someone mentioned before also. Okay. How else? Yes.
Convincing through stories and experiences of someone.
Through oneself, one's own experience gives faith. Yeah, that is the thing that gives faith. See, for example, you can hear so much about the holy name, but while chanting, if you don't feel it, can you develop faith? You will develop faith saying that my Guruji has said, devotees are saying, Shastra is saying, must be true. But if you don't get that even little experience, you cannot develop faith. Isn't it true? So we develop faith even by experience. It's not just people, even by experience. So today, when we say sometimes people become very sentimental, isn't it? Something that touches someone's emotion, they feel this has to be true because by coming in touch with this, I'm feeling happy. Or we can say anything that leads to a dopamine release or any of the release of any of the happy chemicals. People feel this is true. This has to be right, isn't it? For example, when people get into indulge in illicit affairs, I was studying the scientific what happens neurochemically in the body in such a uh, mechanism. So what the scientists explain is when someone tries to engage in an illicit affair, what happens is a dopamine gets released, and therefore they feel great. And therefore today TEDx speakers say that yes, you should do it more. Stress release they call it, which Ayurveda completely contradicts. Ayurveda says if you keep releasing your the essence of your body, then you're going to become nothing. A small virus can kill you because there's nothing in your body to. You've broken down your immunity, you've broken down everything. So, but now people feel what? Because I like it, it has to be true. Isn't it? Because I like, I like my friends, so they have to be true. Because I like my experience, it has to be true. Because I like something, it has to be true. That's how people cultivate faith. And therefore, we call them sentimental. Why? Because they keep Shastra aside, they keep reasoning aside, and they go by experience alone. Experience is an important factor, but not alone. Isn't it? So, along with experience, you need Shastra, very good. But if to justify an experience, if you use reasoning, then it is not good. That's what people are doing. People like sexual affairs. And now, how do they justify? They say, stress release, benefits of it, this release, that release, dopamine release, and everything. They can make a whole research about it. But the research in itself is wrong. Why? Because they are biased in the research. How are they biased? Because they go by experience. The whole Darwin's theory is also like that. They were motivated, the scientists were motivated that we want to prove Darwin's theory because no one had done it. If I can do it, I'll be the next Nobel Prize winner. So they wanted to go by bias. So the research became flawed. So here Prabhupada is saying, in Krishna consciousness, in spirituality, how do you cultivate faith? Not by looking at other people, but yes, by looking at previous acharyas. Why these acharyas are not normal people? They're not just you, like you and me. I mean, of course, one of you may be acharya, but they are not like ordinary souls, isn't it? Prabhupada is quoting Shankaracharya, who is Lord Shiva, Madhvacharya, who is like Hanuman or Bhima, or Ramanacharya, who is Lakshman. So these are all different great acharyas whose names have been provided in the Shastra, who's coming in disciplic succession, and they have done big things. And their not just pastimes, but their feats that they have performed during their life, it also shows that they are superhuman. They're not just human, isn't it? So when we put faith in Acharya. Now you can tell me which of the scientists is superhuman? Any superhuman scientist? Sometimes people say, who is that person? Niels Bohr. Niels Bohr was he was only sleeping 2 hours, once in a while 2 hours in intervals. That's all. So they think he's superhuman. That's not superhuman. Huh? Sorry, it's not Niels Bohr, it's Nicholas Tesla. Nicholas Tesla, yes. But that's not superhuman. He had to die. He could not deliver anyone. The acharyas, they deliver. So, therefore, when we cultivate faith, say Krishna to Bhagavan Swayam. Who is the Supreme Person of Godhead? The Supreme, we say Krishna. Why do we say Krishna? Have you seen Krishna? How many of you have seen Krishna in your life? When, Prabhu? Mangalarti deity. Okay, I mean, face to face, I'm asking. Actual Krishna,
Went through his energy.
Huh?
You feel him through his
You're feeling what to his energies, Prabhu?
Krishna's
Here only Prabhupada mentioned heat, light. Through that only we can experience
We can
Krishna.
perceive Krishna
Yeah.
through eternal light. But we have not seen Krishna, right? Have you seen the beautiful Shams in the form of Krishna, anyone? Yeah. This is the atheists feel that we have won over the theistic people. Because they say God exists, but they've never seen God. But Prabhupada is giving a clue. How do you experience God? Prabhupada says elsewhere that God is not your servant. If I say, does Gandhi exist? You can say, no, I've never seen Gandhi existing. Or you can, you will say, yes, Gandhi does exist. We have seen books about him. We know stories about him. We have history about him. But I can ask, have you seen him personally face to face? How can you say Gandhi exists? Isn't it? But you'll say, no, Gandhi did exist. My father lived to see it. He has seen, we can say, for example, or grandfather. Similarly, for the devotees, have you seen God? They will say, no, there are books about him. Or there's history about him. 5,000 years ago, Krishna spoke Bhagavad Gita on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. There is remains of the entire Dwarka city found. Archaeological proof is there. No, but have you seen him face to face? Then you will say, no, you have not seen face to face, then he doesn't exist. So then you will say, no, but I know pure devotees who have seen him. Isn't it? Any argument to show that Gandhi existed, we will find same argument to say Krishna existed. Then why doesn't he exist? Does that make sense? It's easy to believe Gandhi existed. We have so much faith. Probably Gandhi never existed. Maybe it's underworld, some rumor, Illuminati going on. They want to say that they want to create this person, Gandhi. But we believe it, though we have never seen face to face. Then why not Krishna? Krishna is not spoken by ordinary people. Acharya is talking about him. And then Prabhupada tells about how to perceive Krishna practically. Why Krishna is not Prabhupada saying it. Krishna tells Arjuna in the Bhagavad Gita how to perceive him practically. And how is that? Through his energies. Isn't it? Can someone say, how do you perceive Krishna through his energies? Can you explain a little more? Or with example, whatever. Yes.
Just like in the morning, there are clouds and we can't see the sun, but there is light, so we know that there is sun.
Okay, very good. Through inference, we know. Isn't it? That means you are saying that we see that God, we don't see God face to face, but we know this whole material world is so organized. There's a water cycle. Who is taking care of the water cycle? There's movement of planets. Why are they not crashing? Isn't it? Who is fueling the sun? So when you ask this logic, who placed the earth in its proper orbit at a particular angle, at a particular speed of rotation? Isn't it? If you ask these things, then of course it points to an intelligent designer. Very good. Okay, anything more? How do you perceive God?
Like a seed or a seedling, like tree, it becomes such a huge tree. Like Asham Prabhu gives the example of that biggest tree in California.
Okay, giant sequoia tree.
Yeah,
Okay.
The seed is this much, but how can it become so big?
Observing nature, the mystical features of nature and its design. It's not just a random, only 1 in 10 sequoia seeds turn into a giant sequoia tree. Everything is similarly designed. It's not random. You can see that. Okay, good. Anything else? How do you perceive Krishna?
Prabhuji, in 7th chapter Bhagavad Gita, Prabhuji, Krishna says that he's the taste of the water. So every time we drink water, we are tasting, experiencing Krishna as through the water. And then he also says that the light which comes from the sun and the moonlight is also him.
Okay, but someone can say, how you are just telling me that taste of water is Krishna. I can tell you the taste of orange juice is me. Take Gaurav Deshmukh proof, whenever you drink orange juice, you can understand, you can experience me when you drink orange juice. Is that sufficient?
Through his scriptures.
No, but again, that's Krishna's words is something we kind of...
Yes, very good.
That's
Krishna
important.
is saying it, therefore it has value. Otherwise, anyone can say anything. Yes, correct. Krishna is giving a hint how to perceive himself, how to perceive Krishna through the energies. Why does Krishna say, whenever you want to perceive me, I'll, he doesn't say that I'll come in front of you. Is it difficult for Krishna to come in front of you? Then why does he say through my energies? Something to think about. Any speculation, philosophical speculation, bona fide?
Can you come on?
The question is, we say that, Krishna is telling Arjuna in the 7th chapter that you perceive me through my energies. It's easy, If you cannot see me face to face, perceive me through my energies. So the question is, why doesn't Krishna say, when you want to see me, I will be present in front of you? He says, rather, perceive me through my energies. Is it difficult for Krishna to be present everywhere? Then he could have just said, whenever you want, I will come in front of you. Why does it taste of water, light of the sun, and these things? Yes.
So yeah, basically, Krishna is not a cheap person who will come anytime. If we see in this material world, for example, if we want to meet a prime minister, he won't be easily available. We might be able to approach his assistant, PA, or someone. So, in the sense, that assistant is that Prime Minister's energy. So, just like that, through Krishna's, through approaching Krishna, we can go through his energy.
Very good. Haribo. Yes, you have something more to say?
The thing is, even we need to have some knowledge. Let's say I'm from some village in India. If the world's most powerful person is the president of America, even if he comes in front of me, I'll be like, "Who are you?"
Correct.
Like, even whatever you are, I'm. So our heart should be pure, so that to
very
be
good.
able to
Same point,
perceive.
yes. Krishna is not forced to present himself before sinful people. To the degree we are contaminated, Krishna will not present himself before us. But what about a pure devotee? For a pure devotee, Krishna is everywhere. Stavara Jangama Sange, na deke taramurti. Something, Ishtadeva Spurti is mentioned. There's pure devotee's vision. When he looks at this world, he's not seeing stones and cement and brick and wood. Wherever he sees Krishna. So for a pure devotee, Krishna is present everywhere. For us,
We are not.
yeah. Therefore, perceive him through energy, isn't it? Whereas pure devotee, actually, Krishna is present everywhere. Is he present in your book, in your hair, in your ear, in your nose? Really, everywhere. I'll not go further. Isn't it? How is he present in all? One can say now, how can he be present in my hair, Prabhu? It's dirty, moochi. How can he be present?
Wherever it is coming from him, everything.
Can you repeat so that it's fine?
Yeah.
Repeat.
So, whatever material manifestation is there, hair or body part, everything is the emanated from Krishna. So he is present in every atom.
Okay. He's two different statements you said.
Yeah, like it is coming from him, so he is definitely present in that.
Okay. He expands himself to be present in every atom. Is it? That is one explanation. Good. If you look at 9.4 Bhagavad Gita, very important verse, Prabhupada quotes it immensely, and that's what defeats Mayavad theory. Why? Because Krishna is saying in 9.4 Gita, Maya tatamidam sarvam jagat avyakta murtina matstani sarvabhutani nachaham teshavastitaha. Krishna says, Maya tatam idam sarvam jagat avyakta murtina. I am present throughout this world. Sarvam means that every place I am there. How? Avyakta murtina. Through my impersonal form. That is called as his energy. At the same time, what Suresh Prabhu said is also correct. Krishna also expands to be present in every atom. That is mentioned in Brahma Samhita. Andantarastha paramanu chayantarastham. So Krishna is present in his energy, and therefore Krishna tells in the Bhagavad Gita, the light of the sun is me. That means in this world, how does light exist? Sunlight is the source, isn't it? Does physics they teach the same thing? Sure. Okay. Who is PhD in physics? They really say it's all because of sunlight? Without sunlight, there's no light. Huh? Electric light. Yes, that's why I wanted to confirm. That's also coming from the sun. Electricity also. All in this, but electricity can be any energy. It can be wind.
Cool.
Yeah, wind can be caused by sun gravitation.
Coal is there. Anyway, I've heard that all the light comes from sunlight. Sunlight is the source of all light. So, without sunlight, therefore Krishna says in the 15th chapter, I am the sun and moon. They are my eyes. Hare Krishna. I'm good. How are you? So Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita 15th chapter that sun and moon are my eyes. He says the Agni in your stomach, Jatar Agni, that is Aham Vaishnavaro Bhutva. Praninam, Sarvadehinam. I am present as the Jataragni in the stomach so that I can digest the food. That is also Krishna. And of course, the taste of water. He says, Paurusham Nishu, the strength in a man. That is also me. Balam Balavatam Chaham, the strength of a man. And ability, other one was ability in man. This is strength of a man. Tejas, Tejas Vinamaham. Tejas means, what is Tejas? What Yogina does say? Yeah, prana is movement. Tejas is with respect to memory and everything, right? The memory capacity, enlightenment. You'll find someone get in movies. Someone gets enlightened, immediately there's an aura of light around him. That's Tejas. So Krishna says, Tejas, Tejas Vinamaham. That capacity of Tejas in people, that is also me. So when you read these chapters, then you will understand all whatever whatever level of energy you perceive in this world. Who is energetic? Krishna is energetic. Krishna is the one giving that ability to all the living entities. And there's an example. When Krishna returned back to Garden, that time Arjuna had to procure the 16,000 queens. And while getting 16,000 queens from Dwarka to Hastinapur, that time he had to fight with some infidels. And I mean, just imagine Arjuna has just fought a war, defeating great generals in the entire world. But now these few infidels whom no one knew, who probably didn't even fight with bows and arrows, they probably fought with sticks and stones. But they defeated Arjuna. And having lost the queens, he returns to Hastinapur and then he cries in front of Yudhishthir. And Yudhishthir asks different questions. And one of the questions, and of course Arjuna is, he's not saying anything. Hare Krishna, there's darshan at 8:30. Oh yeah, 8:30, 7:45 now. Okay. You guys should wait. Okay. All of you are coming from which university? All alive. Okay. Very good. So there's some khichdi outside. Yeah. We have some nice khichdi. You can take some nice khichdi. Mahaprasadam. Okay, please come again. Hare Krishna. Sachin, give him a Gita life card or banner. Which, miss such opportunity. Yeah. So therefore, Krishna says, I am present in this entire world through my energies. And therefore, the heat and light, whatever you perceive in this world, it is coming from Krishna. And if Krishna wants, he can withdraw it. Just as he withdrew the skill set of Arjuna. That's what I was saying. Yudhishthira was asking, is it that you could not protect the Brahmana? Is it that this? Is it that this? Why are you sad? Why are you morose, Arjuna? And then finally he says, is it that you have lost in battle? Finally he says, right, in 16th chapter, 1st canto. And Arjuna says, yeah. Or is it that the Supreme Person of Godhead has left this world? That time Arjuna says, yes, that is the reason. Sorry? No, this comes in 1st canto. Krishna Sudama? Oh, Krishna Sudama. Okay. Actually, Krishna Sudama Pagate comes in 3rd chapter, 1st canto. This comes in 16th chapter, 16th, 17th chapter. Yeah, when Pandavas retire untimely. There. Then Arjuna says, yes, Supreme Lord has returned back to his spiritual world. And now he has also withdrew his mercy in form of skill set. Yeah. In which one? Krishna Sudama or Pandavas retire untimely? What is that symptom? Okay, correct. I think someone gets a dream, is it? Or Yudhishthira is able to see something, some bad omen, isn't it? Yeah, correct. So like that. So that means what? Krishna is in charge of the skill set also. So whatever is in this world, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, what is the verse? Spark of my splendor. Mama Tejomsha Sambhavam. How does it start? Mama Tejomsha Sambhavam. Can you just check quickly? Mama Tejaha Amsha Sambhavam. 1042, right? Gita 1042. Is it? No, what is just check the Mama Tejaha. Internet slow है क्या?
तेजो मम तेजो अंश संभव
अथवा बहु नाइतेन किम ज्ञातेन तव अर्जुन.
No, not that one actually. I don't think it's 1042 then. It's
It is 1041.
it's 1041.
यद्विभूति
Yad-
मत्सत्वं श्रीमदूर्जितमेव वा तं तत्तद् एव
एवावगच्छत्वम्।
गच्छतं मम तेजं
Haribo. Yeah, Yadyad Vibhuti Matsattvam. Srimad Urjitam Evava. That means wherever you see even a spark of opulence, Krishna is saying it is a spark of my splendor. Anything you see spectacular in this material world, where is it coming from? It's an energy. Opulence is, we say opulence is energy. And Krishna is saying, I pervade to this world in the form of my energies. Avyakta Murtina. You have to read the purport to that. It took me a while when I was studying for my Bhakti Shastri. I had to write an essay on that purport, 9.4. Took me a while to understand. And that time, when I actually read in detail, it made a lot of sense. You can read that 9.4 purport personally. Thank you, Prabhu. Yeah. Okay, any other reflections before? I see one more Prabhupada quotes Vishnu Purana. Very, very important verse. Rajan Prabhu quotes it left, right, center. Ekadeshi sthita sagnir. That means just as lamp is present in one place and the light is diffused everywhere. So if you go to one corner, because of the lamp, there is light. Isn't it? Similarly, the Supreme Lord is in the spiritual abode. From there, he is emanating light. The impersonal Brahman is his effulgence coming from his spiritual body. The Supreme Person of God, Parabrahman, spreads his energy throughout this universe, being situated in one place, just like lamp. Yeah. So when people say, people are saying, can you show me God? While not realizing that they're seeing God daily at every moment. How do you see God? Prabhupada, what would Prabhupada say? How do you see God? How do you see God? Huh? Okay, that's done. We just covered.
don't try to see God. Right.
How do you see God? Don't try to see God. Yes. What?
Act in a way that God will see you.
So you can't see God. Prabhupada says how to see God. He says it. You see God by wearing a salve, anointing your eyes with a salve of love. Yeah, Premanjana Churita. Premanjana Churita Bhakti Vilochanena Santas Sadaiva Hridayeshu Vilokayanti Yam Shama Sundaram what is it? Achinte Gunaswarupam Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Premanjana Churita. That means when we develop love for God, you will see God. God is everywhere. Even in his energies are everywhere. God is everywhere. Still we don't see him. Why? Because there is no love. Continue. Who is next? Saurabh Prabhu. Any questions still here? Anyone have any question? These are all foundation. The basics 101. So to understand this, if you have to think from different perspectives, different angles, then you will get different questions. You think like a newcomer, then you can go deeper. But if you think from the point of view of, yeah, I know these things, then you will never understand. Okay.
The young devotees in the Krishna consciousness movement are presently worshipping Krishna. What are the signs of devotee? The actual sign of a devotee is that he is no longer interested in material enjoyment. Bhakti pareshanu bhavo viraktir anyatra cha. Srimad Bhagavatam 11.2.42. The disciples of this Krishna consciousness movement do not go to cinemas, restaurants, or clubs, and they do not smoke or drink. In European and American countries, all these things are available and are very cheap. But these young people are not interested in them. They are simply interested in sitting on the floor and learning about Krishna consciousness. Why is this? They have actually rejected the material world. When one comes to detest material enjoyment, one can understand that he has advanced spiritually. Spiritual life does not mean taking sannyas and then smoking or drinking tea. One must actually come to detest material life. One comes to lose interest in material activities and becomes interested only in the understanding of God, the Supreme Being, and His service. As enjoined in Srimad Bhagavatam 5.5.1, Nyayam deho deha bhajam loke
kashtan
kashna
kaman
kaman
arhate
arhate
vidbhujam
vidbhujam
ye.
ye. Offer
Who's vidbhujam?
vidbhujam.
Vidbhujam are stool eaters.
Huh. Hanga.
Vidvaraha, donkeys. Sorry, donkeys, pigs. Vidvaraha, stool eaters.
Of all the living entities who have accepted material bodies in this world, one who has been awarded this human form should not work hard day and night simply for sense gratification, which is available even for the dogs and hogs that eat stool. The word vidbhuja means stool
Stool
eaters.
eaters.
Hogs work hard day and night simply eating stool. And because stool contains chemicals, hydrophosphates, the hog eats strength, becomes very fat, and enjoys sex. In any case, human life is meant not for imitating the life of a hog, but for tapasya, austerity.
Tapo divyam
Tapodivyam
putraka
putraka
yena
yena
sattvam
sattvam
shuddhe
suddhe
yasmad brahma
brahma
saukyam
saukyam
tvanantam.
anantam. Rather, my dear boys, one should engage in penance and austerity to attain the divine position of devotional service. By such activity, one's heart is purified, and when one attains this position, he attains eternal blissful life, which is transcendental to material happiness and which continues forever.
Yeah. Powerful, huh? Now Prabhupada is getting into it. So now Prabhupada is talking about the previous section he spoke about. He spoke about cultivating faith, being able to perceive Krishna, even practically by understanding his energies. And now he's saying, as we make advancement in Krishna consciousness, what is the symptom that we are making advancement?
Detachment to spiritual material. Detachment to material life.
Detached to material sense gratification. One will not like sense gratification. Bhakti pareshanubhava virakti. As one practices bhakti, bhakti is experienced by the devotee. You understand you're making progress by experience. You can feel it. Yes, there's progress. And also virakti and your devotion. Three things. 11:42. Oh, it's not. Okay. Can you please repeat? Bhakti pareshanu bhavo viraktir.
Bhakti pareshanubhavo viraktir.
Anyatra chaishatrika ekakalah.
Anyatra chaishatrika ekakalah.
Prapadyamanasya yathash
Prapadyamanasya yathas natasyus.
Tushti pushtik shud apayo nughasam.
Tushtis pushtik shud apayo anughasam.
Read translation.
Devotion, direct experience of the Supreme Lord, and detachment from other things, these three occur simultaneously for one who has taken shelter of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In the same way that pleasure, nourishment, and relief from hunger come simultaneously and increasingly with each bite for a person engaged in eating.
Yeah. Prabhupada would say, if you are hungry and if you eat, no one has to give you certification to say that, okay, now you are hungry, satisfied. It is understood. How is it understood? As you eat, you will find these three. You like it, it's enjoyable because you feel nourishment, and then there is relief of hunger. You don't need a certificate from anyone. Similarly, as you practice bhakti, no one can put a show for a long time. What are the three naturally occurring symptoms? devotion to God should increase. Then detachment for sense gratification and experience of Krishna. These three things will occur simultaneously as one makes progress in bhakti. So no one can tell you, no, don't fear, Prabhu. Now I'm practicing Krishna consciousness. What if after 10, 15 years also, probably I never experience Krishna? It's not possible. Those people who don't practice properly the process of bhakti, that means your rounds are inattentive. Inattentive rounds, casual bhakti, just a structure of bhakti, but there's no substance of bhakti. Then what happens? Will you get the experience of bhakti? No. So at the end of 10 years, what will you say? After practicing Krishna consciousness for 10 years, the process didn't work for me. It's easy to, put the blame on the process. But actually, the problem is not the process. The problem is our practice of the process. That was completely poor practice, isn't it? Now, if in a chemistry laboratory, say you have to do the endpoint experiment. Now, some people, impatient fellows, what do? They know it is somewhere around 22.4. So instead of doing drop by drop, they take the entire test tube and put it. But it will cross. Too much fallen, too much of the other. What is HCl and? Any idea? What are the two? Huh? Yeah, the two chemical one, chemical two. Titration, yeah, that's the endpoint experiment, no? Endpoint. So when you put in the second chemical, impatient fellows, they just put the whole thing. Then it immediately becomes completely pink. And then they say, no, it's not. Then they say, I'm getting the answer 36 ml. But we know it's 22.4 ml. And it's standard hota hai. 22.4, 22.2, 22.6. That's all. Little error. But, the people who don't perform the process properly, they put the blame on process. Yeah, they say this is not working for me. But the problem is not that. How is it? Is it doing it properly? That is the question. Because scientific. Krishna says, Pratyaksha dharmyam. Pratyaksha means Krishna consciousness is also realized by experience. You can see it. Pratyaksha means what? To your senses. That means it's practical. Isn't it? So therefore, when we practice devotional service, these three things should be happening. If they're not happening, that means rise in devotion to Krishna, detachment from sense gratification, and experience of Krishna. If these three things are not happening, that means there's some problem somewhere in our practice of Krishna consciousness. Process is perfect. And the danger is if we continue to keep, doing this level of bhakti, we will doubt 15 years later, 10, 15 years later. That time we will think, why I've been practicing for last 10 years and no change. That is because we have not practiced. So whom can you fool? By improper practice. We can only fool ourselves. Isn't it? So be very careful when we are chanting, when we are serving, when we are rendering any service for that matter. If we don't do with how it is to be done, like serve prasadam selflessly, chant attentively, study again attentively with absorption. So when we don't follow the guidelines, then we're not following. And there's a danger. So then immediately there's a danger that we risk that one may leave Krishna consciousness. So here Prabhupada is saying, therefore, there are signs of a devotee. A devotee means he doesn't pursue sense gratification. Whatever is necessary, of course. We don't starve from sense gratification. Whatever is necessary, that is allowed. But not too much sense gratification. How many of you have had experience of too much sense gratification sometimes? Yeah. Now, how do you feel after that? Inert. Guilt. Inaction. And we also feel lack of Krishna consciousness. You get a tendency. I've seen, sometimes I've done like very pure sweet fast. No honey also. Then you take something sweet like a jalebi, which is like punch is there, the sweet punch is there. As soon as you put on your tongue, immediately there's some sort of a sensation that goes through your body. You just feel very like awakened. Have you felt that?
Same thing after fasting, even khichdi tastes like nectar.
No, that's true, but I'm not saying that. This is a specific.
Yeah.
This is a specific uh, thing that happens, reaction that happens. Yeah, like you get shocked, isn't it? Dopamine high. You can say that dopamine high. And when that happens, when you do sense gratification for too much, when you do too much sense gratification, then you cannot think of Krishna. It's not possible. I've had experience. So, therefore, Prabhupada is saying the sign of a devotee is virakti. And if Prabhupada is saying, see, the disciples of Krishna consciousness movement, they don't go to movies. They don't go to restaurants. Karmi grains give you karmi brains. So we don't take Vishayira Anna Kaile Malina Hoya Man. Malina Hoya Man Nahi Krishna Rasmaran. When we eat something that is not Krishna, that is not cooked by a devotee, then that food grain that will impart unto us material consciousness. With that material consciousness, you cannot think of Krishna. Isn't it? And in voice, we all used to have this experience. When we would go home, immediately we would, eat whoever cooks, And then we had this experience that to chant would be very difficult. What to talk about chanting attentively, even to chant normally. Sometimes nowadays people say at least you can have a vegan restaurant. Why? Is that cooked by devotee? That's not cooked by devotee. How can you have it? You can have fruits, no problem. There's so many fruitarians. They don't die. But we don't eat anything cooked by non-devotees. Why? Because Malina Hoya Man, Nahi Krishna. And this is also a symptom of a devotee that he is very careful to be alert from attack of contamination. A neophyte devotee, he doesn't mind contamination. He has this pure devotee syndrome. Wherever he goes, he thinks I can handle it. That's okay. I don't mind. Doesn't affect me. And all the pure devotees are, no, it's okay. I'll pass this one. Isn't it? Yeah. Why unnecessarily contaminate yourself? This is a symptom of one advanced in consciousness. More we cleanse the mind, one is afraid to add contamination to the mind. More one has dirt in the mind, he doesn't mind a little more dirt. He finds it's very less. You have seen that? Yeah. So be very careful. Like a neophyte devotee is thinking, why do all my superiors say that I should not go to Times Square? Times Square is also Krishna's creation after all, isn't it? He's saying like that. He's seeing it as, he is a Paramahamsa devotee able to see Times Square as Krishna's creation. And all the senior devotees are saying, why to unnecessarily go and waste time, lose our consciousness there? Better let us stay in the temple and chant Hare Krishna. See? That is called pure devotee syndrome. He becomes casual with Maya. But therefore, detachment means Prabhupada is saying, strictly, rules and regulations are very important. Yama niyama. Yama means what we are not supposed to do. No going to restaurant, no going to parties, pubs, and cinemas. No smoking, drinking, of course. No casual. Casual behavior leads to casualty. Yeah. Therefore, see, they have rejected this material world. Prabhupada is talking about disciples. When one comes to detest material enjoyment, one can understand that he has advanced spiritual. This is self-test. Like in COVID, you got a self-test, no? If you have COVID or not. They would give you a kit which you can do a self-test. Of course, much of it is faulty. Nowadays, anything is COVID. Even a small flu is also COVID. Everything is positive. But this is not like that. Detest for material enjoyment. Do you have it? You can, keep your hands on your heart and you ask yourself, do I detest sense gratification or not? To that degree, we are advanced, clearly. Yeah, spiritual life does not mean simply taking sannyas and then smoking and drinking tea. One must actually come to detest material life. In one lecture, Prabhupada says, if one wants to make advancement in Krishna consciousness, are you ready to hear? Very strong statement. One has to become completely pessimistic about material life. He says. Only then advancement is possible. That means even if someone has a little hope that probably there's some enjoyment in this material world, Prabhupada says then you cannot make advancement. At least not much, isn't it? Because you'll work to fulfill that hope. Even one hope. Yeah, I cannot be happy in America. Probably I'll be happy in India. Some hope is there. I'll not be happy in mechanical engineering. Probably computer science engineering. Some hope somewhere. Till the time we have some hope, artificially taking sannyas will not work. Sorry. Because we still have hope in material life. Prabhupada is saying. So one must actually come to detest material life. One comes to lose interest in material activities and becomes interested only in understanding of God, the Supreme Being. And then Prabhupada quotes Rishabdev's prayer, his instruction to his sons. Nayam deha devahajam niloke. Kashtan kaman arhate vidbujamye. That means for seeking comfort, the materialistic people are working like hogs and dogs. What is only the word uses vidbujam? Why does Prabhupada say dogs also? I'm not sure which lecture, but somewhere I heard dogs also sometimes eat stool. That's why, yeah. Both are called as vidbujam.
Really? We go there and
Sorry? Yeah.
go there like US dog must have come there.
Anyway. Yeah, they eat. Yeah. I've heard it. Both are stool eaters, hogs and dogs. See? And these foolish living entities, the human beings, not understanding the prerogative in human form of life, what do? They work hard like hogs and dogs just to get some sense gratification. And therefore they compare to hogs and dogs. Not just working hard, but they consider which is insignificant pleasure-wise to be something very great. For hog, stool is very great. Is it? It's not. Isn't it? Therefore they compare human beings. Such human beings are compared to hogs and dogs. Rather, human life is meant for, what does Prabhupada say? Yes. Tapo divyam putraka yena sattvam. You want happiness. The wrong direction is to walk in the path of hogs and dogs. The right direction is to walk in the path of or divine austerities. And what is the end result of divine austerities? Brahma Sukh. Why? How long does it last? Anantam. Everlasting joy. Isn't it? Tapo divyam putrikayena sattvam shuddhyet yasmad brahma saukyam tu anantam. His first instruction to his sons. So therefore, to the degree we detest material life, no one can say, Prabhu, I hate material sense enjoyment. Why I only work for it out of duty. No. If someone hates material enjoyment, it is seen. Where does his effort go? There's a saying, no? Energy flows where the intent goes. Energy flows where the intent goes. If someone is working hard for material life, that means he has attachment to material enjoyment. That's the sign. How do we know? How do you know how much materially attached I am? You can see how much am I putting efforts in material life. I mean, you can say, okay, Prabhu, you are brahmachari, you are not putting. No. How much am I fighting with others for prasadam? Isn't it? How much do I want, how much am I claiming the sweets and opulent items to eat? You can see that. By that, this fellow is this much materially attached. Don't see. Ignore. But that's how you make it up. Why? Because material enjoyment means activities will also go in that direction. If you detest material sense enjoyment, you put anything on the plate, he will eat it. Of course, in that we cannot become. That's for oneself. With others, you should say, Prabhu, you take nice prasadam. Now don't go calculating this fellow. So such a material sense enjoyer he is. For others, you have to say that they are Vaishnavas. They deserve more than this. Let them eat nicely, because by feeding them, Krishna becomes more pleased. But for oneself, we should see how much material sense, how much attachment do I have to material sense enjoyment. Hmm? So therefore, Prabhupada is saying that material, when we are attached to material enjoyment, immediately we perform activities to fulfill that attachment, isn't it? But the activity performed by the human body is meant to perform divine austerities. And what are those divine austerities? Austerities done to increase our Krishna consciousness. Hmm? So we will pause here. Tomorrow we'll continue from there, and we'll continue ahead. ग्रंथा श्रीमद् भागवतम की, कपिल मुनि की, श्री प्रभुपाद की, ताई गौर प्रेमानंदी. Thank you all the online devotees for joining.
Thank you. Hare Krishna,
Hare
Prabhuji.
Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Very well.